Hey, welcome to the channel. So for today we are browsing Ikami Wiki, and we are going to start with the Amazing Spider-Man number 252. So this one just came out, and the pricing for it right now is around 30,000. So I wanted to get a kind of an idea where this price should be if we were to go by my logic to it. So what I did, I took the market cap for Amazing Spider-Man number 361, which is a pretty popular comic out there. It has, even though it sits in my B tier, it actually has some pretty crazy prices out there because the demand for it is fairly high. And right now it's at a very high demand. There are which I'll show you, the prices are really high for some of the rarities for this particular comic. So I took that number, I got the market cap for each rarity, and then I also got the market cap for kind of like an average price for B tier comics. So even though I have this comic sitting in the C tier, decided to do the B tier just to give it a the benefit of the doubt type thing going on. But anyways, so I took those market caps and then I divided it by the rarity, the amount issued for each rarity for the Amazing Spider-Man number 252. So what that means is there's, for instance, commons. You have 425 of them issued out there. So I took that, I divided by whatever the average market cap was, and then that's what you get. So pretty much just to say whatever the magic number is for, because for most comics it's 21,000 issued, right, for commons. So you take that, you times it by whatever the floor price is, get that number, then you take that number divided by 425, and then there's your new number. So there's the quickest way of just saying that. So anyways, for secret rares, I came up with about somewhere around 12,000 to 15,000 is the ballpark price for this comic, if you were to treat it with that type of logic. Now, there's always going to be a premium out there, so it may never hit the $12,000 or $15,000 market or price that I predicted. It might stay at 16,000 or 17,000 or 20,000. That just deals with the market out there, the demand for it. So all it is just speculation. I just wanted to kind of give you my 2 cents on it, that if I had unlimited budget and I still had budget in mind where I wasn't going to overpay for something, to me somewhere around 12 to 15,000 seems to be where I would buy this maybe. Moving on, let's look at the ultra rare. So the ultra rare is on my to-do list. I really do want one of these ultra rares. Now the ultra rare, the price right now is sitting around 5,200, and I came up with anywhere from 2,100 all the way up to 4,800. Now that part is a little skewed, and the reason why is because I used Amazing Spider-Man number 361, which is at its prime right now. The price for the ultra rares for that comic are extremely high for it. If you compare it to other rarities out there or other comics out there, that 361 is pretty dang high, and it's because I guess everybody likes that cover right now because of this new Spider-Man comic. It's the latest hot thing going on. So that's the reason why the 4,800 price is really high right now. I think maybe closer down to I don't know, maybe 3,500 or so would be more accurate for this as far as giving it a high. But we'll stick to my logic though. I said anywhere from 2,100 to 4,800 for this one. But like I said, I kind of picked the wrong day for getting an average for Amazing Spider-Man 361 because it is really high right now in price. The next one is rare. So the rare is sitting at 2,300 with 36 listed. What I calculated for this one was anywhere from 700 all the way down or all the way up to 1,500 for the price. And we'll see if that actually happens. The uncommon, we were sitting at 1,500. There's 46 listed. And so we got 1,500. And what I had for the pricing on that was somewhere also around 700 to 1,300 for this one. Remember, people treat uncommon with, I don't know, they don't treat it as well. So 700 though for the bottom floor was actually not bad of a number. And then 1,300 for the highs for it, and it's close to it. So, but for me, I would be if I was taking chances, I would try to aim for the lower number that I'm giving out, just because that's just me. I always want to try to get the best prices possible. The what else? We looking for the common on this one. So the common, we are sitting at 2,300. So the common, I had anywhere from 1,200 all the way up to almost 2,200. So it is already sitting pretty close to the common price market cap for the Amazing Spider-Man number 361. So you decide if you want to take that gamble. But yes, so anywhere from 1,200 to almost 2,200 is what I was guessing for this comic. This one actually seems within reason of it. Now let's look at a couple other ones. What else we got around here? Let's look at, so this guy's only $435. Fantastic Four number 12. I do have this in my B tier, and this is a really good comic to have. So there's 100 of them listed, and that's the reason why that price is so low. That's my opinion on that. I want to make sure everybody understands that when people, like, because it's a new thing, because it's a new item, people treat a lot of new stuff poorly, especially with comics. They don't do that with every item out there, because some of them, they'll be hyped up. So say it's hyped up on Twitter, then the new item is going to get the opposite treatment, where it's actually not as many listed and the prices are crazy high. But for comics, for the most part, you don't see too much hype going on. And what happens is that the listings, so these guys, these are all these people are competing with each other. They create this really low floor price. Like, they're all just trying to outdo each other. And, a lot of times they're doing it because maybe they got it, they only spent $7 on it. So even at $400, it's still a good sell, if you do percentages, right? So it's still a good sell. And right now we have 100 listing. I'm going to compare this. This is where I'm going with this. So if we were to look for, that's in one that I know is maybe a little high. Let's look for all new. Even though this one's not like crazy high, I just want to compare it, the secret rare, to this one. So $480. So this one is an A tier comic, and it has a higher floor price than Fantastic Four number 12, which is a B tier comic. Look how many listings there are. There's only 42. So it has half the listings, and that's the reason why. So you got to look out for this. You got to look out how many are being listed out there. Are these people just trying to just get some gems so they can buy whatever the next shiny thing is? And you do your own research, and you maybe try to take advantage of that. So that's the reason why Fantastic Four number 12 has such a low floor price right now. It's because there's so many people trying to just sell it off right now. That's at least my 2 cents for that. Now let's go ahead and go back to regular comics and just going down the list. Let's look at the ultra rare for it. The ultra rare, I actually love this cover. It's a cool looking fight scene going on with the Thing and the Hulk. I think it's really cool looking. I've already picked one up, so, which is just my thing. I like collecting all the VeVe exclusives. But yes, so really cool cover. It's going for about $105 right now. What were the listings for this thing? So listings still fairly high. Now, so we have 100 and where are we at right now? We're at 140 for it. Let's talk about, I know I'm moving all around, but let's talk about the Amazing Spider-Man 361 real quick, since I brought that up earlier. Let's see if it will just pop up without typing rest. What we got here? 14. There's a bunch of them, huh? I should have just typed the whole thing out. There we go. 361 ultra rare, $460. My goodness, isn't that crazy? That is a fairly high price. So the highest back in the day when comics were peaking, so we had about $500, and that's kind of close to where it was, or where it's at right now. So $450 for this. Let's check out the listings for it. Much lower, 61. What did we have for that Fantastic Four? I think like 130, I think, was where we were at with it. So this thing has half the listings, and it sits at a floor price of $450. So when I was doing my market cap numbers for the Amazing Spider-Man number 252, this is, I picked a time where it's kind of peaking for this comic. So that's the reason why the highest number for each one of those market caps, are so high. It's because I picked it kind of maybe on the wrong day for it, but I wanted to do it anyways. You know, I wanted to kind of stick to my plan where I knew Amazing Spider-Man 361 has a high demand for it, and yeah. So look at that. Let's look at its let's look at other rarities for it. Let's check out its rare, $115. So the average price for a lot of like rare comics and their or for rare comics alone is somewhere, I think, like seems like in the 50s to 60s. Like they're not really that high for a lot of them. So $115 is a decent price for this comic. The highest it's ever been, at least back in October, was 150, so it's fairly close. 144 over here, and we're down to about 100 of these listed right now. Let's compare it to another Amazing Spider-Man. You know, let's do that. So we got Amazing Spider-Man number 50. This is a pretty big comic. Let's see. Let's check out its ultra rare. $205. So this comic, 361, is selling for twice the amount. And so it has 49 listed, and it's at 205. Like even during its peaks, you know, even back then, we're at about 400 or so, and then 270. Right here is 205 with 49 listed. So just to make sure, that was ultra rare, right? Let's look at the ultra rare again. And how many are listed here? So 63 listed. No, 58 looks like. All right. That's crazy to me. Such crazy prices. I mean, the cover does look really good. I'll give them that. Let's check out now what I will point out though. Let's point out this secret rare. All right, so we're looking at a ultra rare going for almost $500, right, for the 361. Why the heck is the secret rare only 1,000 then? Right? Doesn't make any sense. This should be I guess kind of like a red flag where something's wrong. What is wrong here? Why is the secret rare only 1,000? The ultra rare is literally almost half the price of the secret rare right now, which is not normal for any comic. Like look at even Marvel Comics number 1, right? You got like a $30,000 comic. The ultra rare for it, I don't know what it is right now for today, but let's just take a guess and just say 13 or 1400. It's a fraction of what Marvel Comics number 1 is, right? And then same goes for a lot of these other comics. If we were just to take a look at any of these, okay, Amazing Spider-Man number 1. What do we got for the ultra rare? $510 for Amazing Spider-Man number 1. Wow, I didn't even like think about that. So you got a much better comic, Amazing Spider-Man number 1, and it's going for $510 for the ultra rare, and you have Amazing Spider-Man 361 almost there. That is nuts to me. And this comic right here, where's the secret rare sitting at? 8,100. So 8,100 for the secret rare, 510 for the ultra rare. So you're telling me the 361 secret rare should be 1,000? That's why the markets are so jacked up, in my opinion. I don't think people realize what they're selling things for, or even purchasing them for. I think it is so jacked up that it is a little bit nerve-wracking to analyze it. That's why I just do my best research, find out the comics I like, what I actually think is going to be the best long-term, and that's kind of how I roll with it. All right, so I can't do the whole short-term game with anything when it comes to comics on here, because none of the prices really make any sense to me. It's a lot of BS going on. And that right there should help you understand what the heck I'm talking about. I just showed you one of the greatest comics right there. I'm not going to say it's the best comic to have, but Amazing Spider-Man number 1 is a pretty big comic, right? So you got an ultra rare selling for $500, and then you go and get yourself the Amazing Spider-Man 361 ultra rare for almost the same price. Doesn't make any sense to me. But that's what I see all the time in the market with stuff like this. Just things that don't make sense. And then I have people, they'll ask me like, are you sure that's like a good investment? Which, you know, I'm not into really, like I said, giving out financial advice. I just like pointing out stuff. That's all this is. Like, I'm just showing you what I see, and you do your own research, and you do your thing, right? But yeah, so I get questions like that a lot, and it is hard to answer sometimes, because I'm like, well, you're right, the prices are ridiculous. I don't know why they're so low, but that's how it is sometimes, and it is nerve-wracking, but it is what it is, I suppose. So what else do you want to look at? Let's just hit enter. Let's see what we're at. All right, Avengers 57. So this one's a really good comic. 57's going for 500 right now. I want to say, wasn't this thing going lower? Let's see. Let's take a look. So it's gone up some. So, because I remember seeing, somewhere down here in the 400s a bunch. So it's up. It's up a little bit. I think this comic price should be a lot higher than this, but as of right now, let's take a look at this common. So the common for this comic cover, this is a popular comic book cover. Like people, there's been not like a crazy amount of homage covers on here, but there's probably like 15 or so, I bet, floating around of different people making different covers, related with this actual comic book cover. So it is a popular comic book cover. So sits around $16-17, and I thought this was actually going to go for more, and it's not right now. It's sitting pretty low. It's almost like a C tier price, kind of. But yeah, anyways, let's see. Anything else? Astonishing Xmen #1, ultra rares at 150. That's fairly high for that comic. Now it's because this is an actual variant cover though. Like you can go and pick up this comic book, and it's actually kind of funny. You can spend less on it in the physical world. So you can get this comic book cover for fair market value, somewhere around like 80 to 90 bucks, right? For this cover right here. If you were to go on eBay, now on eBay, if you go on eBay, just know that like the buy it nows are always going to be more. So maybe you can find one that's making an offer and then offer them less for about closer to the fair market value, or find it in an auction, and auctions you usually get cheaper. So right now the prices have actually been going up really high for this, which is good. I mean, it is a Del Auto cover, and he's pretty cool. He has a lot of cool covers out there, and so yeah, that's kind of cool that it's actually getting its kind of more of like the real life demand. And you notice the listings are go down, so somebody has been scooping them up. What else do we have around here? The secret rare for it's going for $320. Also remember, so I think this is one of the comics that I have that I picked up for real cheap. I can't remember what price it was, but it was really cheap. And it was a low mint number. So I end up I think it was this comic. I want to say I picked up somewhere around 1,000 mint for this comic, and I spent, I think, maybe 300 or less for it, something like that, right? So things to consider for stuff like these really cheap secret rares is if you can find a low mint, far as Master Collector Program, that counts as 9 points. So if you divide the number, so just say it was like 300 divided by 9, you'll come up with your number, and that's how much you spent for the actual comic. That makes sense, right? So like it comes out to, I'm trying to do the math, I think it's like $33 or so, right? So $33 a point is what I spent for that, which might be a little high because there are ways to get cheaper than that. And I will say one way to get cheaper than even that is like the rares. So let's throw that out there for y'all. Let's just say you're rare hunting. Right here, $41. So $41, this gives you 2 points for Master Collector points. So if you were to take that $41 and divide it by 2, you'll have somewhere around $20 a point. So really, rares are a great way of boosting up your Master Collector points, if you didn't know that. So just a heads up. And then plus, if you think about it, if you get the ones with the low mints and say somehow it's around the floor price of $40 or so, you're getting even a better deal, because it's supposed to be like, what, 50% added to that. So that would be 3 points for $40, and now you have yourself a much better number. So just wanted to throw that out there. I might was thinking about making a Master Collector Program video maybe in the future, so maybe I'll come up with that and a little bit some more strategies that I do for pretty much. I'm looking forward to the Master Collector Program, and I hope you are too. I know not everybody's down for it, but I think what's going to happen is once the Master Collector Program comes out and you realize the benefits that it's going to have, a lot of people are going to go that route. So right now it's kind of like under the radar because they've been promising the Master Collector Program for like what now, like 6 months or so. So it's kind of like at a point where just people don't really even have it on the radar as much anymore, because they're just like, yeah, whenever it comes out, finally, whatever. But I don't know. That's where we're at with that. So I know I didn't go over a whole bunch, but I think looks like my website just crashed. So this website does have errors. It could be my side. Maybe that means it's my side, but this happens to me from time to time, and I guess it was a good run anyways. I'm at like 21-minute mark, so I hope you learned something from that, and maybe I'll do another video like this again. As always, thank you for watching.